Hello everyone, welcome back. So in the last video we have discussed about scalar and vector quantities, about motion and rest. So in this particular video we are going to counter about distance and displacement, and I can guarantee you that if you're gonna watch this video, never ever you're gonna study displacement anytime. Okay, so let us start the about distance and displacement. See, there is a difference between distance and displacement. That is we are going to satisfy at the last, but here at the first we are need to have a conversation in about distance. First distance, then displacement. That will become more easier for you to understand displacement if you understand distance. So distance is what? Total length of path covered by the body. Write it at actual. So the actual length of a path covered by the body. So see, if I am walking from a point A to a point B, I am just what I am doing here. I am covering some distance. What is the distance? I am covering some length. I am covering some length of that path on which I am walking on. So that is actually distance. Distance is actually the length of the path covered by a body. Okay. And see, there is a very important thing that whenever you study any physical quantity, you should always remember that you must study these three things. What is that? Definition of that physical quantity, unit of that physical quantity, mathematical representation if it is there of that physical quantity. Okay. And the next thing is dimension. Dimension, yes. So dimension is also related to units. We will see how to calculate dimensions as well. Okay. So how we actually measure unit? Unit is measured in meters, and okay, and denoted by a small m. Okay. Next is mathematical expression. So distance is if the if length is given. If a length is being given in the question or in the situation, then you need to apply this formula, that is sum of total length of path covered. Okay, so this will be the formula we will be using when we will calculate about distance when the length is being given. Okay, now the another formula comes from the formula of speed, which is distance upon time. So here distance becomes speed into time. So I can write this speed into time here. If I substitute distance is equal to speed into time here, so distance is also equal to speed into time. Okay, so that depends upon the situation and which situation, what kind of question you are getting. You can use this formula on the basis of data given in the question. Okay, now this is all about distance. Now come to know a little more about dimension. Little more, not a little, about dimension. See, dimension is what? Dimension is what? What is dimension? However, we have seen in our earlier classes that in mathematics book it was written like that. There is a cuboid whose dimensions are, where length was written 2, breadth was written 3, height was written 4. So this is what? The value, length, breadth, height, these all are what? These all are dimensions. Okay. So the dimension actually in physics is calculated in actually three quantities. First is mass. Any dimension or any quantity is represented by mass, by length, or by time. By mass, by length, or by time. Mass, length, and this last time, and they are collectively written as MLT. Okay, MLT, collectively written as. Now just tell me one thing, what is distance? What is distance? We don't know. What is the dimension of distance? We don't know. Speed. What is speed? Speed is what? Distance upon time. What is distance? Actual length of the path covered by the body. So here you will write L divided by time. Time is denoted by T. So L by T, and we know that this is also a time. So time, cancel this out. What we get? L. So L will be the dimension of the distance. Now how we will write it? We can write it as m0 because no mass is there, L1 because one length is there, only length is there, and T is equal to 0. No time is also not there, time has been cancelled out. We have just seen it. Okay, but as you know that m is 0, T is 0, so I can write it as L raised to power 1. Okay, L to the power 1 I can write it as, because m is 0, T is 0. We will learn about dimension when we will calculate the dimension of other physical quantities. Okay, so need not need to be worried about this. Let's come to displacement. Displacement. So what is displacement? Displacement, shortest distance between initial and final point. It's the shortest distance between initial and final point. Okay, so what distance actually signifies? See, distance is different from displacement by just one statement. What I am saying, just listen it. That distance is actually, I am saying that I moved 5 meters. I moved 5 meters ahead. If I say I have moved 5 meters, then what does it suggest? I have covered some length of 5 meter. But what displacement says? Displacement says that I have covered 5 meter towards east direction. So that signifies the direction. So wherever the distance and directions are added, then we get displacement. So displacement is nothing but displacement is nothing but distance with direction. Okay, ऐसा distance जिसके पास direction हो. For example, if I say I am walking 6 meters, so 6 meter towards west, 6 meter towards north, 6 meters towards south. So what is that? That signifies the distance with direction. So that is displacement. So the advantage of displacement is that it tells you the direction in which the body is moving. It helps us to actually analyze the real life situation. Okay, next, what is unit of displacement? So its unit is same as distance because it is also a distance, is a particular type of distance as well. So its unit is meter, and dimension is also same. Length. Well, how displacement is calculated? There is no formula for it, but in some cases, it is calculated as final point f final point minus initial point u, f minus u. So displacement is final point minus initial point. Okay. So this was about distance and displacement. Now let us see some illustrations or some differences about distance and displacement. Okay, so distance and displacement. What is distance? We all know displacement, we know very well. Okay. Now, how we will calculate distance? Actual, I am denoting length with L of path covered by the body. Okay. And here, shortest distance between initial and final point. Shortest distance between initial and final point. Okay. Okay. The most important, scalar quantity. Distance is a scalar quantity. Displacement, on the other hand, is a vector quantity. I have told you that quantity, physical quantity, which has magnitude as well as direction, that is known as displacement. That is known as a vector quantity. So distance only has a value. Displacement, I told you that it actually broadens the distance by adding direction to it. Okay. Next it it is always positive. Yes, I will show you how. It is always positive. And this is can be negative, can be positive, can be negative, and can be zero. How? Explain karo. See, suppose this is the origin. There is 1, there is 2, minus 1, minus 2, minus y-axis is minus 1, minus 2. Now, if I say a particle starts from this point, origin, okay, it goes to point 2, okay, and again come back at point, it goes to point 2, okay, and actually returns back to 0. Return back to 0. Calculate the displacement. What is displacement? Shortest distance between initial and final point. Now tell me, यहाँ से बॉडी ने स्टार्ट किया, यहीं पे आके खत्म हुआ. 0 minus 0 always be 0. आ गया 0. चलो नेगेटिव कैसे हो गया? नेगेटिव भी दिखा देते हैं तुम्हें. तो 2 पे गया and it comes back and it goes to point, let's say point 3. Minus 3. Now calculate the distance. Calculate the displacement. So how will you calculate? Minus 3 plus 2. Minus 5, because it's a shortest distance between initial and final. So you get minus 5. So it's a negative number. It can be positive as well. How I will show you that. How it is a positive as well, I will show you. See, let us say it starts with a point 0, goes to point 1, again it starts, goes to point 2. Okay, so here is minus 1 गया, फिर वहां से minus 1 से आया तो फिर इधर आया तो कितना हो गया? minus 1. ठीक है, minus 1 फिर आया और फिर जाकर के 2 के पास चला गया तो कितना हो गया? 2 हो गया. तो ये minus 1 minus plus 2. ठीक है, सॉरी, इसको आप सीधा मान लो कि ये 2 कवर कर चुका है डिस्टेंस. ठीक है, तो ये क्या आ गया? 2 is greater than 1, so we get it as positive 1. So it can be positive, can be negative. Now how distance can only be positive? I am showing you that also. Distance is always positive. See, if a body goes from here to here, it never goes in negative direction. Remember that, it never goes in negative direction. हमेशा वो positive x axis की तरफ move करेगा body. Okay. सो इट इज ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव बिकॉज यहाँ से जितने भी पाथ्स होते हैं हम सारे के सारे पॉजिटिव लेते हैं, वाई एक्सिस पे ये सारे के सारे पॉजिटिव होते हैं और हमारा जितना डिस्टेंस और डिस्प्लेसमेंट बनता है वो इतने ही रूट पे बनता है। ओके, सो आई होप इट इज क्लियर। क्वेश्चन बनाएंगे और अच्छे से क्लियर होगा, लेकिन अभी फिलहाल के लिए इतना काफी रहेगा हमारे लिए। स्केलर क्वांटिटी ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव, एक्चुअल लेंथ जस्ट all is same. Okay, so mathematically it's a sum of all and it is the difference. तो इतना डिफरेंस था, चलो एक दो क्वेश्चन कर लेते हैं। ओके, let us do some questions. Suppose a body move towards this direction. Let us assume this direction is east direction. Actually it is a east direction as well. 2 meter in east direction. Again 4 meter it turns towards its left and covers 4 meter. Tell me the total distance. Distance is actually represented by s, or let us say you will become confused. So tell me the total distance and resultant displacement. Tell me what is the distance and what is the displacement here in this case. Think. It's actually the definition. सिर्फ definition से ये बन जाएगा सवाल, ठीक है। Total distance, actual length of path covered by the body, actual. So this is 2, this is 4. What will be 2 meter plus 4 meter? 6 meter. Very simple. Now this is point A. Let us assume it goes to point B, turns left and goes to a point C. Now this is the starting point which we call initial point. This is the final point. Now it is the distance between final and initial point. So join this, join AC. What do you get? You get a right angle triangle. So a property of right angle triangle is the hypotenuse square is equal to the base square plus perpendicular square. We can calculate it as by the Pythagoras theorem. By Pythagoras theorem, what we can say, that AC is equal to root of 2 square plus 4 square. So what we will get? 4 plus 16, that gets root 20. So value of root 20 is, do factorization, you will get everything. So it will around 2 root 5 meters. So this will be the resultant displacement. Okay, so this is how we calculate, because I think calculation is correct. If it is wrong, then please forgive. Okay, so this is the major question which is asked, or the question can be asked many more like this. Okay, now we will discuss speed and velocity in the next video. Okay, and we will practice some question on speed and velocity and distance and displacement in that video also. Okay, thank you.